Welcome back, friends. It is Black Magic Sorcerer here with another video, struggling with a stupid camera tripod that keeps allowing my phone to move. So anyway, I've got a little setup here, and I wanted to make a quick video explaining not so much what I'm doing, but to just explain something fun to do when you're getting kind of used to your energy with the spirits you normally work with. Maybe you're getting a little burned out. Maybe they're just getting a little sick of you even, you know? And like any relationship and friendship, there's times when you do need people really, really badly, and there's times where they go off and do their own thing, and you come back together and you don't miss a beat. But because you have different things in life going on and your attention gets turned constantly to different people, different situations, it's so hard to maintain relationships even with the human beings in your life, not to mention maintain really deep and lasting connections with hundreds of spirits. So, I really try to go out of my way to create something that's of inspiration. So whatever ritual you do, the more elaborate it is, inevitably the more exciting it is. When something looks appealing, like these stones and these candles, I have these ancient sigils that I've had for years that I've been anointing with my own blood. I have surrounded it with demons. I am using my pendulum, to charge this entire ritual. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to hang it right over the top of whatever I'm working on, and it's going to spin, 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 spin. It's going to start picking up energy. You can see it just at the top of the camera there. You got to be careful, otherwise it'll hit the bottle or hit me or hit the camera. When it starts picking up on its own, I'm putting zero effort into this. This is 100% spirit energy coming through me and going through this beautiful pendulum of Baphomet. I don't know why, for me, when it comes to certain spirits, I feel like they're so connected together. Like, Lucifuge Rofakel is very connected to Lucifer, obviously, and then Beelzebub is connected to Baal, and they're all brothers or relatives, cousins, uncles, sons, queens, kings, whoever. They're like a big family. They're like a pack of wolves, really, when it comes to the Goetia spirits. But the one thing I think that we always overlook is that there is a good amount of them. We have a tendency to use the demonic kings because they are very powerful, and obviously if you go to the top of the chain and just say, hey, King so-and-so, would you mind telling the spirits beneath you and all of their legions to go work on, etc., etc. And that works very well because now you're literally using thousands and thousands of spirits. That's the thing you got to understand at home, friends, is for those of us who do actually have a little contact and a little respect from spirits and people that are dead on the other side, angels, demons, God, Jesus, Lucifer, whoever it is you work with, whoever it is you have access to that helps you achieve your spiritual results. When you start really getting into magic, you start understanding that there's so many different, hundreds of thousands, infinite variety of entities and different kinds of spiritual energy out there in the astral plane, hundreds and dozens and hundreds of billions of dead spirits to choose from, dead souls of all ages. Virtually go to any graveyard, take your pendulum with you and a couple of coins so you can leave for an offering. Ask a spirit that you're attracted to, meaning go to the headstone of that dead person and say, I may not know who you are, but I want to make a offering to you, and say, if you'd like to come forth and have a conversation, you can bring a Ouija board. I would prefer to use the pendulum because really yes and no questions are great. I like to use my pendulum in correlation with a Ouija board and have the pendulum actually swing around the letters instead of using a planchette, because I've never ever been able to get a Ouija board to work by itself with just me. And I'm just being honest and speaking from my own experience. Maybe I just don't have a lot of faith in Ouija boards because they're not really my thing. I love them as far as like something I would probably be interested in actually making or collecting. I think it's a cool device, but when you have instinct and you just have a few simple tools, maybe you have a stone, maybe you have your tarot deck, maybe you have just the pendulum, maybe you don't have anything, I think what you have to realize too is a lot of this shit is aesthetic, and it's something to make you excited about magic and raise your energy about magic. So, I've placed these Reiki stones in here. I'm putting healing and loving and blessing energy into these demonic king sigils. I'm also welcoming new spirits into the fray and saying, hey, let's work together. These new 9 spirits, that 3 are old friends, 3 are new friends, and another 3 are acquaintances who I've just met. So we are going to have a great time, and in the future, whatever I work on, I'm going to leave this out here, leave this whole setup, and if I need something or have questions, I just simply will come out, give another offering, maybe blood or another beer, which I'm going to leave until, the beer is stagnant, and then I will pour it out into the dirt outside of my house so that it is water going back into the earth. It's just a way to be respectful with the offering. You'll know when the spirits are done with your offering. It's an instinct thing. They don't like rotten anything unless they're a really evil spirit. A lot of evil spirits like bizarre smells. Most spirits like sweet, nice tasting, nice smelling incenses, food, cooking something like a big piece of meat, especially a very juicy, kind of rare piece of meat for a spirit. Like one of the Goetia spirits, they love meat. They would love a fucking steak. I couldn't think of a better sacrifice if you're trying to make friends and truly have a relationship with whatever spirit is you're interested in, than to make them dinner. And then you actually sit with them, you eat the meal with them, you leave the sacrifice. You'll feel the presence of that spirit very strong, because spirits love to be acknowledged. It's the reason why I put my protective spirits and the ones I've bonded with right on my body. They're always with me. They're always accessible. I feel their sigils itch, or I feel them get hot or burn, or I feel like there's a sting. Lucifuge, Rofakel, and Mikael like to give me a little sting in the shoulder because they're up on the shoulder. And that's when I know they're like saying, yep, 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 or no, 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 or they're getting my attention. It's kind of an intuitive art, friends. I'm going to be perfectly honest. The in-your-face experiences of having, a creature like Pinhead or a really scary demon manifesting in your living room, that is possible, and it does happen. But I don't want to get your hopes up if that's what you're truly looking for, because those kinds of manifestations are rare, and especially when it comes to the spirits, certain spirits don't want to be blown up, so to speak. They want your respect and they like to be acknowledged, but they're not looking for you to go shouting their name from the rooftops exactly. It's just, hey, when you work with me, treat me like a friend, treat me with respect. Remember who I am. Remember who I was. Remember who the fuck it is you're talking to. If you're talking to Lucifuge, Rofakel, or Beelzebub, you better remember who the fuck it is you're talking to. These are very, very powerful kings in hell. So anyway, those are the ones I like. I like the high-ranking ones. They've done me well. I have their sigils on my body. I know Astaroth and a few of the other spirits I work with are not kings, but I don't really consider the hierarchy to be anything more than just a way for us to subjugate those spirits into a categories for us to use them in a more practical way. It's just easier to catalog, and I think putting them in certain lights, like saying here's a list for love, here's a list for attack, here's a list for revenge, here's a list for money, here's a list for healing. It's just a nice way to separate them so that you understand what their specialty is. But as far as who they are, what their personality is, and what they actually are as free-thinking individual spirits, that's something that's between you and the spirit. And you will get manifestations that will scare you so badly that you will wish you never ever even touched a book on magic. Or you may have subtle and very powerful dreams. You may have something like a shadow show up, Shadows are very common. That's usually what I see as shadows. I don't get full-blown in your face manifestations because I told the spirits a long time ago, if it turns into a poltergeist situation, I'll have to use other forms of magic to restrain you, and I don't need you throwing the fucking furniture across the room, or standing behind me in the mirror whenever I'm brushing my teeth. I don't need some fucking thing that looks like Night of the Living Dead standing in my living room. I ask the spirits to come in a very pleasant and appealing way. I always have something for them, whether it's a blood offering or just something, even if it's just physical praise, making a sigil for them and then burning it and offering it to them. It's so simple. It's no different than making friends with any other friend you've had. And it's just to treat them with a little bit more respect because they're a lot older than you in experience. They're a lot more seasoned in life. Some of these fucking characters we're working with here, folks, have been around since the beginning of creation. The King of the Angels, the Archangel Michael, is a bad motherfucker. So to have him on my right shoulder and to have Lucifuge Rofikal on my left, that is such a balancing feeling for me. I feel like when I sit and I go inwards and I think about the energy that the spirits give me and the protection they provide for keeping me invisible, keeping me safe, getting revenge, and keeping my enemies from trying to fuck with me, changing their mind about me completely. I mean, it's amazing what you can do if you put your mind to really opening your mind and not being such a childish asshole. Wait a little bit. You don't have to do everything right away. If you're going to curse someone because you're really pissed off, sleep on it for a couple of days and think about it. Think about it, what it is you truly want from the situation before you go calling someone up and offering your hard-earned money to some fuckaroo who's going to give you a line about, how he's going to give your enemies cancer or whatever. Just hand over your 5K, no problem, I'll do it. I would not trust very many people with that kind of money, and I know that it happens all the time. Especially in the voodoo and the hoodoo faith, a lot of people put a lot of big money down to get healing and to get access to spirits, or to bring back a loved one, like someone who's left you. It's absurd that people take hundreds, if not sometimes thousands of dollars and give it to strangers with hopes of having the situation in their life changed by magic. It's a very lucrative practice. I think for every one that you have that is honest and true, you have another one that's fucking totally evil and may even be a real magician or sorcerer, but they're going to take advantage of their gift and they're going to use you. They're going to do things like make you sick and then say, well, if you come back, I got a cure for this sickness, etc. That kind of shit goes on. There's magical blackmail is a real thing. You may go see a sorcerer or even someone as simple as a Reiki healer that you think is unassuming, and turns out they're into some really dark shit, and it turns out instead of giving you energy and balancing your energy, that they're actually draining the shit out of your energy and figuring out ways to keep draining it. Excuse me. Had a tough day today. Anyway, I wanted to just make a video to show how simple things can be. If you use your imagination, you can create this incredible vortex right in your kitchen. Just use what you have. And most important, friends, be patient. Work with the spirits. Use your instinct. Take their advice. If you're going to bother asking them questions and they tell you what to do, you should take it into consideration. Don't just ask a bunch of questions to ask them. Dark blessings, motherfuckers. Love you.